Welcome to Wager Talk. Scott Spreitzer here with Brian Leonard and Ralph Michaels, couple of Cleveland boys as they root on the Tribe in the World Series. But we're talking college football in this particular video, and we're breaking down the big ACC matchup between Clemson and Florida State. The Clemson Tigers right now about a 4.5-point road favorite in Tallahassee. However, I saw before I came down to the studio today that Mark Duffy's shop over at Jerry's Nugget was showing 3.5 minus some juice. Ralph, first time the Noles have been a home dog in 5 years. They're 23-1 straight up in the last 24 at home. Your thoughts? Kick things off, Tigers and Seminoles.
You know what, we talk about, this has been a marquee matchup each of the last 5 years. One of the teams have been ranked AP top 5 or better, so we're used to being in prime time. You know, I like a team that hasn't been a home dog in that many years. Only once in the last 8 years have they been in that role. We also have a team that, on paper, Clemson looks so much better statistically, only allowing 13 points per game. But when I look at my matchups, Clemson's only played one top 35 offense the entire year, while Florida State has played 5. Florida State also has 2 defensive linemen back, a big edge. They came back against Miami, and you saw them play Miami and Wake Forest and allow just about 270 yards per game in those 2 matchups. It's a situation where I like the home dog in a role that they're not accustomed to. They can use the chip on their shoulder. And Clemson, by the way, 0-6 as an away favorite when they're laying under a touchdown. So in an evenly matched game on the road as a favorite, they haven't done well.
Ralph's kind of leading me into a good segue because I wanted to ask you about that Florida State defense. We saw, you know, up until the last 2 games, I mean, they were giving up a ton of points. They're getting healthier, as Ralph mentioned. They played well against Wake. They played well against Miami, and they've now had a week off to prep for Clemson. So are you buying Charles Kelly's defensive improvements over the past few weeks, or are you selling when they match up against this Clemson Tiger offense, which hasn't been quite as effective as it was a year ago, but still has some really good key parts, obviously, with Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, you hit on it with Clemson. The offense hasn't been nearly as good. And if you watch Watson, I mean, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, so I thought we were going to get him number 1. The way he's played this year, I don't want him. He's just been very inaccurate. The defense has been playing better for Florida State, but they haven't played this type of offense. Clemson's got far better offense than what they faced. My concern for Florida State is even in those games where the defense played very well, the offense really was pedestrian. So, you know, I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I had Florida State, the number 2 team coming into the season. I really like the talent on this team. They've disappointed. But I think Clemson's also been a disappointment too. So this is a game, it's in the price range where I'm just going to sit it out, but it'll be interesting to view it.
I was with you. I thought Florida State was going to be a Final Four, you know, playoff-bound team before the season began. So I was right there with you. Thought they were one of the top 3 or 4 teams in college football. Been a little bit disappointed in Deshaun Watson this year, Ralph, because it seems like he has struggled at times in games where he used to just be able to put things on his shoulders and make big plays. And I thought earlier in the season it was a case of maybe they weren't allowing him to do what makes him as good as he can be, which it looked like they were trying to keep him behind the line of scrimmage, looking for his receivers to get open a little bit longer than what he used to when he'd pull it down and run with the football. Let's make it official, guys. We'll start with you, Ralph.
You know what? I'm going to lean with Florida State. As I said, a situation where they can have a chip on their shoulder. And I compare this Clemson team to Ohio State last year. Everyone thought they were going to be so good. They had so many people back. And sometimes that just doesn't click in the second year with a few new players and a few new starters in there. I'll take the home dog.
Brian?
I'm going to pass on this game, but I do know Louisville has a rooting interest in this game.
A little bit, just a little bit, especially with Houston falling apart. They don't have that team to,
That's right.
If they could have had Houston being undefeated, it wouldn't have been a bad idea for them to go in and rock the Cougars. That's not the case anymore. It's going to be interesting, by the way, to see where Tom Herman ends up this offseason. All right, guys, a couple of great deals going on this week at Wager Talk that I wanted to mention. You get an all-weekend access for $69 from any Wager Talk capper this week, and you can receive a $50 sign-up bonus after your first purchase of $12 or more this week, and that's all available right here at wagertalk.com. More weekend football videos to come, both from college football and the NFL. Ralph, Brian, and Scott, stick around for more.